Then I will shift gear and talk about functional ceramics. Structural ceramics, you use them for their thermomechanical properties. Function ceramics, you use them for their certain other properties. And the most important one we call electronic property. Okay, again, a big table, just to give you some idea, especially for people coming from different backgrounds. Okay, for electronic properties, I have a big table, but when you think of ceramics, what's the electronic property that comes into your mind first? It's probably this one, right? Insulator. Insulator, right? Quite often you put ceramics between the high voltage wire. You see a insulator there, and those ceramics, aluminum oxide, silicon dioxide, something, magnesium oxide. That's the most typical one, right? For ceramic, when you think, can you pass current through a glass? Not really. Actually, many times we are using glass to provide the electrical insulation. Make sense? Okay. But as we show in this table, ceramics in terms of their electrical property are very broad. Some of them we call, look at where I'm pointing, metallic conductors. Many ceramics are in fact metallic conductor, which means they are as conductive as many metals. I'm not talking about copper or silver. Those are very conductive. But metals such as titanium, iron, nickel, they are not that conductive. And many ceramics, they are like titanium carbide, zirconium diboride, this titanium silicon carbide, ruthenium oxide, or strontium vanadium oxide. They are as conductive as many typical metals like tin, like titanium. A lot of these ceramics are as conductive as many metals. Lead, they are not good conductor. Super compare. And some of ceramics, believe it or not, they are even so-called superconductor, which means when the temperature is low, pretty low, below liquid nitrogen temperature or even lower, some of them are superconducting, which means you can pass current indefinitely. The current will not die away. The current maintains. That's zero electrical resistance. Make sense? Some of the ceramics. Magnesium diboride. Is it ceramics or metal? It's a ceramic because it contains at least the boron, which is a not metal, non-metal. Make sense? Not to mention the oxide. They are definitely ceramics. Make sense? So can be metallic conductor, can be superconductor, but can also be semiconductor. Many ceramics are semiconductor. Any metal semiconducting metal. Well, metal means they are not semiconducting. Metal means they are conducting electron moves freely. But ceramics can be semiconductor. Other than insulator, other than metallic, ceramics can be semiconductor. All these I'm listing. So-called gallium arsenide. You may not be from chemistry background, but these are used for solar cells. CIGS, calcium telluride, zinc oxide. They are semiconducting material. All of them ceramics. And some of them not only conducting electron, they conduct the read ions. We call them ionic conductor. They are semiconductor, but they are ionic, which means they not only conduct a little bit of electron, they conduct more ions. We'll talk about this a little bit more, but materials such as so-called yttrium oxide stabilized zirconium, silver iodide. Silver iodide, is this metal or ceramic? Ceramic because other than silver, which is a metallic element, it contains iodine, which is a non-metal. You see how we define ceramics. Make sense? And some of them are mixed conductor, which means they conduct both electron significantly and also ion. And some other stuff we call them piezoelectric or ferroelectric. They're used for capacitors, energy storage, actuators like this, barium titanate, lead titanate. I'm just giving you some image to back it up. These are, if you ever use the furnace, high temperature furnace, the elements here, these type shaped elements, typically they are made out of so-called molybdenum disilicide. Molybdenum Molybdenum is a metal, but silicon is the non-metal. Make sense? So when you pass current, it can give this furnace to be able to heat up to high temperature. Okay? Then this one, this pellet suspend freely from the bottom. That's a superconducting effect that people are observing. The material is this one, YbCO, superconducting material. Okay? Ceramic. And then here what I'm showing. Well, you may not see it very well, but it's actually a flexible solar cell. And the material quite often could be CIGS, flexible solar cell. What material? When you look at here, copper, indium, gallium, but selenide, Se, that's why I told you to review your chemistry a little bit. Se, metal or non-metal? Non-metal. So this is still a ceramic because in addition to copper, metal, indium, metal, gallium, metal, but we still have the selenium, which is non-metal. So this is still a ceramic material that becomes a so-called light absorbing layer, goes into this flexible solar cell, semiconductor. Okay, and then these are typical high voltage wire, and between the wire, one phase and another phase, you need a quite often insulator. That could be aluminum oxide, could be something similar, right? So you see conductor, superconductor, semiconductor, this one, insulator. And then I'm showing this. For people who study electronics, these are so-called capacitor. When you open up your computer, you may find some of these very small so-called multi-layer capacitor. The active material in them is ceramics. Okay? So you see, in terms of electrical properties, ceramics gives you a very broad range of properties that enables human civilization. If we only have metal, we have only one type of electrical property, which is conductor. If everything is conducting, do we have electricity? No, right? We cannot have anything, insulation, everything conduct, everything lost, right? It doesn't work. We cannot have solar cells. We need the separation. We cannot if everything is conductor. We cannot have capacitor. All these other properties are enabled by the non-metallic electronic property, which are enabled by all these ceramics. Okay, so let me just. So let's continue a little bit. The other property, we don't have too much time to talk about them, and also these are highly specialized. But let's just quickly glance through. Some ceramics, they have special magnetic properties, so-called ferromagnetic. You use a electrical motor, you need a strong magnet in it. Could be some type of ceramics. Some of them pyromagnetic. That's for most material. Okay. And then for nuclear application, some ceramics like uranium-based oxide, they are used for nuclear fuel. Some people use to absorb neutron, so-called shield in nuclear application, boron carbide or some other boron-containing compound. Many of ceramics are for special optical applications, for different applications. As you realize, many of our sapphire, silicon dioxide, quartz, or many glasses, they are transparent, right? Ever seen a transparent metal? Ever seen a transparent metal? No. Metal, metallic, one layer or two layer, it will not be transparent. Ceramics, many of them are transparent because of band gap. But some ceramics, they are black. Graphite is black. Ruthenium oxide and many of those conductive ceramics, they are black. When you look at them, they are black. You break it up, they are black. They reflect the light, but they are black. Okay, and some of them are colored. Many ceramic materials are colored, like doped the aluminum oxide, doped sulfide can give you bluish color. Doped titanium can give you the reddish ruby color. And many different gems. They are always, most cases, they are what? Ceramics. Make sense? They are typical gems, other than, well, diamond is transparent, colorless. But you see, other than metal, they are most of them are dark colored ceramics. And some of them are so-called isotropic, optically isotropic. They are glass, which means you look at it from different directions. They are optical property are all the same, but many of them are so-called anisotropic, not the same in different direction. Typically single crystal or non-cubic crystal system. Okay, and many other. We don't have time. I'm not even expert for laser application, nonlinear optics, all that stuff. They are all based on ceramic material because in terms of optical property, metals are pretty boring, not transparent. Most of them gives you that silverish color. That's it. Make sense? Ceramics enables all these different properties. Okay.